Oh. Oh. Shit. Hmm. Hi there. Real Megan. It's been a while, hasn't it, buddy? Yeah. How you been? Doing good? So, I assume that out of like the 50 some odd people that are still following this channel, roughly 20% of the accounts are dead. 15-ish will be like, oh, I'm still subscribed to her. The teeny majority that's left after that, I just wanted to say hi again. So, on the off chance you're wondering, over the past few years, what has happened to me, it's just been a lot of stuff, really. There's been an absurd amount of school and work. Not so much work right now, just chaos. I'm going to skip just until last week because that was really probably the most interesting thing that's happened to me in all this time, and that's kind of sad but true. I visited my bruja in Seattle, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal because I'm sure at least one of you lives in or around Seattle, or has been to Seattle in the very least. However, it was a big deal to me because I'm on this coast and he's on that coast. I had to go from this coast to that coast by a flying plane opposed to a water plane. I don't like planes. It's not that I'm like, the plane's gonna explode! Which, yeah, I think that's a possibility. I know it's probably not as much of a possibility as I think it is, but I still think it's a thing. It's more the heights for me than anything else. I spent a whole week in Seattle, and yeah, I did some touristy things, but I'm not going to tell you about all the touristy things, because you probably don't care. I just want to skip and make a real quick video about the one thing that's at least a little bit relevant to this channel in terms of touristy things that I had accomplished last week in Seattle. The one cool thing I did that I thought was relevant to your interests, maybe, is I went to the EMP, the Experience Music Project Museum, and they had an exhibit for the time being called Can't Look Away that was all about horror films. Let me just back this up by saying I went there on the last day of my trip. The only other museum I wanted to go to was Sam because I like art. And I wasn't even going to go to this one except the fucking building looked really cool and we had nothing to do on the last day. Anyway, my poor boyfriend, he really likes music, and you know, it's the Experience Music Museum. For the sake of argument, 3 hours in that museum. I would say about the whole museum, 2 hours to 1 hour and 45 minutes were spent in Can't Look Away because I really liked horror movies. Essentially, what it was just badassery all around. So much horror memorabilia and different interesting things and tidbits, and they talk about movies, the little booths woven in between the trees, and everything was beautiful and nothing hurt. So there was like this wall and made weird shapes and silhouette, and I can't word so good, so here's some pictures. A bunch of different like memorabilia items and things from movies, like set props and stuff. They had a fucking alien! Even the freestanding, blatantly prosthetic alien, when you're face to face with it, looks terrifying to me. So, yay! Stuff from Constantine, Hostel, Saw, The Shining, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Thriller. I just thought I'd let you know real quick, because I think it's closing soon. I'm pretty sure it's been open for forever, and pretty soon it's going to be taken over by like a science fiction thing, which that'd probably be cool too, but that's not relevant to this channel! I just thought I'd like let anyone know if they're in the area and or by some weird chance taking a Washington trip sometime sooner, that if you're interested in horror movies, you should check it out. Yeah, I'm sure you guys missed all the planes. I will admit the museum's a tiny bit pricey, especially if you're like, I don't give a shit about Jimi Hendrix or AC/DC or Nirvana or whatever. Which, you're a monster. Probably not cost effective if you're trying to save money. And they had a Scream booth, which I thought was kind of funny because I made a stupid mistake and I didn't have them upload my picture when I went into it, but I went in with my boyfriend for his. Whatever, long story short, you get to choose, like, it chooses for you, which, come on, it really doesn't. It's random. If you have, like, the bitch horror movie Scream, or the tough, badass, crazy person Scream. I got the crazy person, he got the bitch. Here's a picture from that. I'm Not Dead / there's cool shit going on in Seattle right now that's probably ending soon. / don't tell me it's old news, because it's not like I look up the cool things that are going on all the way across the country. I don't really buy touristy things. I wasn't like, I need a Seattle t-shirt. I need a snow globe. I need a commemorative pencil. I did buy a couple things from EMP because of this exhibit. I got a fancy Friday the 13th postcard. I didn't buy like a Seattle postcard. So my idea is I was going to hang this up on my wall of pictures that really has no connective theme. It'll be my Seattle postcard. It's relevant to my interests, and I'll also know it's from Seattle. So, yes, that's my one touristy thing. I did indulge in a $10 t-shirt from EMP, because holy shit, where else am I going to find this? Let me love you. As soon as I saw the t-shirts, I was like, take my money! But yeah, no, it was really cool. Anywho's it. I think that summarizes everything. The only other tidbit of interest I'd like to add is for those of you that like to watch movies, yet you also like to read, it's not really fiction horror. On my plane ride, I started to read Stiff, which is a book about cadavers and all their many, many uses. But it's really, really interesting, and it's about the 50 million billion ways in which cadavers are used, and it's cool, and you should read it, and I recommend it. I'm not done with it yet, but thus far it has been very interesting. At times a little gruesome, but cool. I really don't have any horror movies that I've seen super recently, 'cause I've seen a fuck ton since I've last talked to you, but the last horror movie I saw in theaters was Cabin in the Woods. Everyone and their mothers talked about it by now, so I'm not even going to waste my time. Definitely in my top 10, maybe my top 5, and you should definitely see it if for some weird reason you haven't already. And today I think I'm seeing Dark Shadows, and that's not really a horror movie, and it's probably going to be awful, but there's this little place in my heart where if it's Tim Burton and it has Helena Bonham Carter and Johnny Depp in it, I have to see it. I know I shouldn't, but I have to. So I'm going to achieve this sad addiction pattern of mine. And then hopefully I will talk to you guys sooner than 2 years. Who knows? That would be nice though, I think. Have a nice day. Come to me. Come to me, Sniffles!